You're so lucky. I wish I had your job. I wish I had your body. It's just so easy for you. Well, I call bullshit because it hasn't been. Nothing about my life, nothing about my job, nothing about my body, none of it's been easy. In fact, it doesn't depress me or anger me anymore, it actually fuels me. And I have to work like a dog, continue to work like a dog, and pull myself up out of bed every single day, knowing what lies ahead of me. You know, I want to tell you about Shefit and why we exist. I never had any intentions of starting a company. I was truly trying to solve my own problem at the time. And Shefit is born out of a frustration and a place of deep self-consciousness. We are truly a revolutionary athletic gear company for women with a sole flagship product that really no one else has ever done before, and it's called our Ultimate Bra, and it is the first and only fully custom adjustable bra for women. And I know some of you may think a bra, what can that do for a female? Well, let me tell you, it can do a lot, especially when you're trying to live an active and healthy lifestyle, right? It can do a lot. I'm so glad to hear that, because I have goosebumps just thinking about what it's done for me and what I know it does for other women. And we're on a mission. And we're on a mission to play in a place that is bigger than my wildest dreams. I mean, we're in a David and Goliath game right now, and we're definitely not Goliath. And the mission is truly to forge a movement and to provide women and girls of all ages, all sizes, and all athletic levels to feel beautiful and confident in their own skin with a piece of functional equipment that empowers them to feel their best so they can ultimately do their best. Not based on this, but based on this. And, you know, when I started the company, there never was any intention of doing that. I was just trying to solve my problem, like I share with you. My husband and I run the company together. We have no business background. We've never run a company before. And 19 short months ago, we have been out of our basement. And when I think about 19 short months ago when our kids were bagging and tagging and I was physically calling up every person that wanted to exchange or refund the bra, and just every aspect of what the business entailed, it's crazy because this month we were named to Inc.'s 500 fastest growing companies in Michigan at number 154, which actually put us number one fastest growing company in the state of Michigan, and I'm so proud of that. I'm so proud, and I still can't, like a sports bra company, who would have thought, right? And so I grew up like many of you. I never knew where my path was gonna go. I never knew what I was gonna become. I always dreamed or had thoughts of what I'd like to become or what I'd like to do, but I didn't know, and I really didn't know where I would be today. I grew up in a very strict household. I love my mom and dad to death. They barely made it through high school. They had me very young. They never went to college. They put everything on the back burner and had 4 kids later. And my dad went into construction and to this day runs a very successful construction company. And I grew up in a life that was all about excelling in a sport, not multiple sports, one sport. Giving your best, one sport, excelling in school, and working chores. And we weren't allowed to work outside of the home because there was too many chores to do at home. I was in rodeo, and we had horses, and I had to ride, we had to practice, we had to bale hay, we had to feed. It was nonstop hard work, and we had to fight for everything that we wanted, and nothing was ever handed to us. And I remember specifically to this day, and I tell my dad all the time, like, he would leave at the crack of dawn, he would come into my room, and he would smack me on my head nicely. But every day I would get a smack on my head, and he'd be like, get up, lazy. Like, nobody sleeps. Nothing good happens when you sleep. To this day, I have such a hard time sleeping in, but I am so thankful for my upbringing, and I truly believe it's given me the drive to do what I'm doing today. I really believe that. And, you know, failure teaches you what success can't. And I want to say that again. Failure teaches you what success can't. And I really want to share with you the details of some of the lessons learned the hard way and how being unconstrained and accepting failure in your life isn't really a bad thing. In fact, it's been the majority of my journey up until this point. And sometimes I think we allow ourselves really to be constrained by the negatives or to consider points of failure without considering the vision. We're always so worried about the risk. Everybody told us no. Everybody told me we were crazy. Everybody said, you're going to go up against the likes of like Nike and Under Armour? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, are you crazy? You know, you have a really good job. You have a really good job. What are you doing? Why are you going to spend your money? The manufacturers told us, no, this is not how you make bras. This is totally unconventional. From the fabric suppliers who told us that the fabrics that we were choosing, just this is not going an intimate product. I mean, we didn't listen to them because I knew what I wanted. I knew what I needed to do, and I knew what I needed to make a product. I was using the product, so I knew what I wanted. And so many people told me no. So many people still tell us no. And you know, learning is a journey into the unknown, and really by definition, you have to have the risk of failure to succeed. And I really want to say that again. You have to have the risk of failure to succeed. And if you think about what that means in every aspect of your life, I really wish that I had engineered that thinking into my mindset from the start. I wish I would have engineered that thinking into the start. And I tell you this because there's been many times then and now when I'm worried if we're going to make it. Like literally, I got people that work for us out in the audience, and they, every morning before I wake up, every night before I go to bed, it's 24/7, it's a grind, it never shuts down. But I am worried every single day if we're going to make it, and I'm worried if we made the right choice. But it's a testimony, it's an employee, it's a customer who reminds me every single day of why we're fighting the fight. It's my kids, it's my 4 girls who I gotta look at every single day, who are faced with a society that has already defined what perfection looks like in an active and healthy lifestyle. And perfection, frankly, doesn't have a look, right? We all look in the mirror and we see something that we don't like. I do every single day. But I'm reminded that I need to love what I see and embrace what I see, because that's the one thing that I got. Right? It's funny when I look back when it was just me and my husband in our basement, 2 full-time jobs, 4 smaller, totally active kids, and a wild dream that I validated over the course of many, many years. Lots of money spent, not very wisely, but lots of money spent, and we didn't know any better. And I had this notion of this thought of what is the talk going to be around, and the whole way that we got by was by this notion of ignorance is bliss. And if you think about what ignorance is bliss is, I think we can really all relate to that in some aspect of life. And it really is what we ran on early on. And when I look back on so many things, they all go back to that one concept. And by my own admission, I am not afraid to say it. I'm saying it to you now. Not very many people know about it. But by my own admission, we were, when I say we, me and my husband, we run the company together, we were so ignorant. Oh, we still are. Like, it's actually really funny to think of the things that happened then and that are happening now. We were so ignorant in all areas of business. We didn't have a business degree. We didn't run a business like I shared with you. We're just literally trying to do the best that we can, knowing what we know in the moment. You know, he has and I have, we had and we have now, very different strengths, and we play off of those strengths. He's back end and I'm front end, and it's really difficult. It's like the yin and the yang, and you got to figure out how to mix them, because I'm product development and marketing, and I want to spend, and he's like, no, you know. So it's a really difficult mix, the two of us, but we really had to play off of those strengths. And you know, we were running on passion, excitement, and assumptions. And if you think about life and business, it's all about assumptions. Like, it really is if you think about it. And I'll never forget, my husband lost a huge account. I haven't shared this with a lot of people, but my husband lost a huge account. I had to look back on what was the most challenging aspect of where I've gotten to now, and I always revert back to this, but he lost a huge account at work, and up until this point, we were this close to being able to really put the bra on the market, ready for people to spend their hard-earned money on, and we were gonna see if this thing had wings. This close. And I have goosebumps talking about it. And I'll never forget, I was in my office, and literally, he came home and told me about it, and I broke down. Like, I broke down. He lost his account. It was helping us self-fund the company, because guys, up until this point, it had been several years. And to take a product from conceptualization to actually physically being able to sell, I mean, it just, the amount of time and what is encompassed in that is huge. So when we lost this account, everything literally came to a stop. And it's so life-changing, because at this point, there was nothing left to borrow or use. We had tapped out every single credit card we had combined. We had cashed out a 401k. We had completely depleted all college funds. They were gone. And Not to mention, the day before this happened, we had just sent $25,000 to a man we never met in LA as a down payment to manufacture our first round of bras. And it's crazy to even share that, because who would do that? Like, you think, like, how stupid were we? And I remember being in my office and having literally a mental breakdown and losing it hysterically and arguing with Bob. And if any of you know how an argument goes when you're married, we'll compound that 10 times when you're trying to get a company off the ground together. And I didn't know what we had just done. Like, what are we gonna do for the future? What's gonna happen? The account is no longer running. The funds are done. We just spent our last $25,000 to a man we had never met. I mean, it's just crazy. It's like ignorance is bliss, right? And so we were spending and spending and spending from every aspect of experts on the technical side of the bra, to the manufacturing, to the branding, to the patents, to the website. I mean, you name it. The amount of money we spent in ignorant ways was just unbelievable. And now we're this close to being able to sell, and everything had just come to a stop. And let me tell you, some of the craziest, the scariest moments is when you're trying to figure out how to get that train started again once it's completely stopped. Doesn't feel very good. So many things went wrong when looking back, and even now, as I think of where we're at in the thick of our growth, every single day is a struggle. We have this thing that we call the Shefit eye twitch and the hand and foot itch, and my guys are in there laughing because they know what they're talking about. Like, literally, the stress that the company has brought to the family, to my family, to me, to my husband, is scary. I'm worried that he and I are going to get out of bed every single day, like physically have a heart attack or something. I mean, it's very, very scary. But we didn't anticipate, literally, the success in our category, our market. We didn't understand the full scope of the projects before they ever started. Everyone we hired was an expert, and nobody had the passion for the business the way that we did. And the challenge really lies in learning to look everywhere for the lessons. And, you know, I really say that you will learn things in your mistakes, and they'll teach you along the way, and, you know, they did for us. They did for us, but I'll tell you, those consequences of what happened early on, frankly, that still happen now. They've resulted in lost time, lost money, lost opportunities, rushed and poor decisions, and ultimately angry customers. And it's not an easy thing to share. I'm not proud of that at all. But despite the success of Shefit, I still have low points, and I still have feelings of regret, shame, discouragement, and fear. I've taken away so many things along the way. All of this has really reminded me of many lessons that I think I forgot, and I really, you know, I think I share with you about the craziness early on, the heartaches, the mishaps, the thick of where we're at in the present, and where I know we're going to go in the future, and it's a reminder.